After a long day of deliberation, Margaret Mills was found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in prison. Police received a call around 2 this morning and upon arrival discovered it was yet another murder-suicide. Stephanie, people all around Central Texas gathered to see the doors of a local music store closed for the last time today. Businesses say if the smoking ordinance were to pass, it could force them to close their doors. Emily, retailers are gearing up for one of the busiest shopping days of the year. The city of Waco is going against the national trend by creating hundreds of jobs with the revitalization of downtown. It's not only high school football games that is played at the WISD Stadium, but there's also soccer games as well as band competitions. General managers are saying it's a great time to start your Christmas shopping. You can get great deals like a flat screen TV for just under $1,000.
I'm appalled that someone would have the audacity to put a rope in a tree. I'm appalled that students feel like they can get away with threatening other students along racial lines.
A student's outrage after a string of events at Baylor University last night ended with a screaming match in front of a campus resident hall.
I was coming back from the library and they were like yelling and whatnot, and I was like, you know, you're in Texas and y'all's vote didn't really matter that much because Texas still voted for McCain overall, and so admittedly I probably said a little bit too much, but and then things got kind of they escalated from there.
It all started yesterday afternoon with a rope that resembled a noose hanging from a tree on campus. Then signs for President-elect Barack Obama were burned in a barbecue pit near Brooks Flats dormitory. Then later that night, an eruption of emotions as students clashed in heated debate after the results of the presidential race were announced. But some students say the argument was not just political.
There's a problem with racism, and if that problem is as blatant as a noose being in a tree or a group of students outside of a dorm threatening somebody.
I don't know if it was like a bad reaction to it or just if they weren't ready for that much change.
The university put out a statement today saying it does not condone this type of behavior, a feeling echoed by members of both Democrat and Republican student groups.
It just shouldn't happen this way, and you know, we need to work together to unite a little bit.
Baylor officials say they urge students to participate in the weekly meetings hosted by the Multicultural Activities Department, where students can freely express their opinions and beliefs in a safe environment.
We try to encourage these conversations all the time so that issues like this don't come up.
But some African American students say that may not be enough. They're demanding further action from the school, and they say they will not be intimidated by what they're calling a blatant act of racism.
I think people can get out of hand. And if people are that crazy and they want to take it to that level, that's on them. But the days of Jim Crow are over. I'm not going to live in fear on this campus. There's too many people that died so I wouldn't have to live in fear on this campus, and I refuse to do so.
In Waco, Laura Hagen, News 10. Megan Lewis Grant was found guilty of arranging the murder of her ex-husband, and with a special meeting today, the jury sentenced her to life in prison.
It was an interesting case because the real bad person in this case was the person that did the murder, a guy named John Hopkins.
It was John Hopkins, the boyfriend of Megan Lewis Grant, who violently killed her ex-husband, Michael Grant, on September 15, 2007. But a jury found that Lewis Grant had just as much involvement. On Friday, Lewis Grant was found guilty of plotting the death of Michael Grant and burning his blood-soaked clothes.
They gave her a life sentence on the murder case and a 10-year sentence on the tampering because she had 2 charges.
Attorney Russ Hunt Sr. says once the jury read the sentence, she turned to him and said, "I told you so." But still, in her mind, she had not committed a crime.
She felt like she had done no wrong and shouldn't have been convicted at all. And so this is just another one of those tragic events in her life that she expected. She's feeling understandably disappointed and sad.
The family wished not to speak with us today, but did send a statement expressing their feelings on the conviction of Lewis Grant, saying, "We will forever mourn Michael's tragic and untimely death. We are saddened and horrified to know the violence and stupidity that led to his brutal and senseless murder."
The father of the deceased is understandably just terribly emotionally moved by the death of his son.
The family also states that people who knew Michael know that the representation of him made in defense of the accused was a desperate and false fabrication. Hunt says Lewis Grant suffers from depression and suicidal thoughts and is currently under suicide watch at the Coryell County Jail. She will also file an appeal for the conviction and sentence determined by today's jury. Hunt says they will start the process within the next week.
Morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you for starting off your day with us here on News 10. I'm Bill Young.
I'm Laura Hagen. Let's get a look at your top stories this morning. A warning for those who own an aftermarket car stereo. If you can, take it out of your car or hide it. It could be making your vehicle the target for thieves. Thieves broke into at least 20 cars this weekend in Waco, stealing car radios and leaving behind tons of other damage. This all started Sunday morning with police getting a dozen different car break-in reports, all in the neighborhoods around Baylor University.
Then it happened again, this time just after 3 in the afternoon in the parking lot of the Gold's Gym right near Franklin and New Road in Waco. Half a dozen cars burglarized. It wasn't over yet.
Yesterday evening, thieves struck again, breaking out the windows and stealing stereos from 6 more cars at the intersection of 9th and Dutton. And to make matters worse, in this case, the victims were attending church service.
I think it's a darn shame they would do this any place, especially at a church. It's just ridiculous. There's nothing worse than a thief.
Police say in addition to the stereos, a pistol and a purse were also reported stolen. Officers are searching for 3 Hispanic men as potential suspects.
All right, here's an interesting story. I think this is one you'll be repeating at the dinner table tonight. Kind of I don't want to say high speed, but a police chase in Belmead. The police, though, weren't chasing a stolen car. They were chasing an 1,800-pound bull.
It all started on Sunday afternoon when the bull escaped from a trailer in the parking lot of HEB. From there, the bull ran through neighborhoods for more than an hour before 2 men on horses finally captured it, more than a half-mile from the store.
As you can imagine, Laura, this really came as a big shock to people who live in the area where this bull was caught. You don't expect to look outside and see a bull running through your neighborhood.
I said, "Where'd that bull come from?" They said, "HEB. I said, "I thought all those down there were dead."
Yeah, the bull's owner tells News 10 this isn't the first time this guy's escaped this week. He's been on the loose a couple other times.
The owner says he's had enough and plans to ship the bull to Hubbard to be sold for slaughter, providing it doesn't try to make a run for it again.
Yeah, that's a big if. All right, TxDOT could be getting a major makeover. That is, if proposals from the Sunset Commission are approved.
The Texas Sunset Commission is making some big recommendations to change the department, including its leadership. Instead of a commission heading the department, it would be one commissioner responsible directly to the legislator. The legislator would then take a greater oversight role and commission a private firm to audit the department. The legislator will soon vote on these recommendations in hearings in February. New from overnight, a fire races through a home in North Waco. This video is just into our newsroom of the fire on North 6th Street between Bosque Boulevard and Herring Avenue. Fire crews are still on the scene. They've been battling this fire since just after 3 this morning. 5 people living in the house have made it out safely. The Red Cross is now stepping in to help them since they no longer have a place to call home. And firefighters across the area will be on high alert this morning because of a red flag warning, which means today could be another hectic day for them. Firefighters from Holland, Salado, and Bartlett had to battle strong winds and thick smoke while fighting a grass fire yesterday just outside of Salado that could be seen for miles. The fire engulfed more than 100 acres before it was contained.
All right, we are out of time this morning. Have a great day, everybody.
And thank you for watching News 10.